Hello, mates. It is us once again, the Saturday Night Wrestlemaniacs. I am the People's Choice. Don Rodriguez sitting next to a freshly returned Nubian Sumo up there, braving all the elements, and now he has come back to flare up a cigar and talk about WWE Bad Blood. Sumo, how are you?
Well, in the midst of avoiding contamination, chemical plant contaminations and hurricanes, I guess I'm doing all right.
Yeah, I would imagine. But, just chlorine. It was nothing major. It's not like it's the first time that's happened at that chemical plant. So, they understand how to gingerly create the T virus and release it into the air.
Yeah, well, it's the first time it's held me up from doing what I needed to do. So, yeah.
Well, so we know that wasn't making kids, because otherwise, she wouldn't have held me up. I can tell you that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, we know about you, Mr. 23andMe.
Oh, shit, I'm about 24 and me at this point. I had to throw a little extra chromosome up in there. Sorry, the people in the background in the truck over there speaking to my ear, asking me what the hell I'm talking about. They know what the hell I'm talking about. Bad Blood. So this is our react show, just to touch bases on what we just saw in the course of an early premium live event that was not WrestleMania. Actually, they didn't have any pre-show matches, did they?
They didn't have any pre-show matches, no.
Yeah, so they just started early, clean, ended early. We're on early, and it's kind of weird. We're used to, popping in about 11 o'clock having some conversations, but no,
I like it though.
Early. Yeah, we get to go to bed.
I like it. I don't mind. I don't mind a 6 o'clock start like that. That wasn't too bad. 3.5 hour pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That's about all you need. 5 matches. Yeah, that's all. That's all right. That's pretty good. I like that. They can keep that going.
Well, while you nice and enjoying, did you also like the fact that I believe this is the first one with major sponsorship at the level of the refs having Wendy's logos on their shirts? Wendy herself was on the pillars. You had should have been Stephen P. New, but a law firm of I don't remember, Dugan or something like that. I don't know. It's 2 D's. Morgan and Morgan, close enough. They were all over the place, and you had Prime.
Well, it could have been Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe.
Why not Stephen P. New? He's suing AEW people.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, you got to have money to get those sponsorship like that. I mean, Stephen P. New got money, but he ain't got that kind of money, apparently.
If he got money enough to be the green guy, T-shirt guy in the front row, if he's at that level, he can at least get somewhere.
Well, he's doing well enough with these independent shows that he's sponsoring, and different things he's doing. He's doing all right.
But what'd you think? I mean, did it seem weird to you to see all that UFC-esque sponsorship?
Not really. I mean, they're part of the same company now, so I mean, didn't they put together the new NXT belts? Have you seen those?
Yeah.
What do they look like?
They look like the same color scheme as the older ones.
No, but they look just like the UFC title belts.
I guess, yeah, you can say that. I didn't put that 2 and 2 together. I was just more looking at the color scheme, like, okay, we're getting back to what it used to be. I can get with that. That's the one belt. The Big X is the one I still want to get at some point. But, they look good. Now, the one that doesn't look good is that daggone Crown Jewel belt. I know you got something to say about that.
You don't like that belt? I love that belt.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I love that belt. Those big side plates And that and you know they did the same thing that Tony Khan did with the international and the women's world title. They used that Mid-South model for the belt. But instead of putting the two circles on the corners, they kind of widened the circles out and put them to the side like they do with the piping on the WWE title.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
like the catering to the green of the crown, it just didn't stand out to me. Maybe it should have been raised up or something. It just kind of gets washed in, or maybe it was just the angle, and I have to look at it a little bit more deeply. But I was like, man, if they would have raised up the crown that was green and then had the jewels around it, then maybe it'd be a lot more. I don't know. I have to look at it again. But the initial, I was like, yeah, crown jewel.
Braun Strowman.
Oh yeah. I wonder who. Well, we'll have to see. It'll be Cody versus somebody.
They said it'll be champion versus champion. So
well, we know Cody's won.
Cody versus Gunther.
Maybe. You think they may make a change?
Well, I don't know. Who put it on Braun Breaker? No, not for that.
Well, I mean, I guess it match. Excuse me. It could be a safe match considering that nobody's losing their championship. But does that mean they're going to carry around that big old belt until the next Saudi Arabia show?
No, they're going to do the same. They're going to do the same thing they did with that greatest royal of all. They had that green world title belt, WWE title belt that they gave to Braun Strowman, and you ain't never seen it.
Yep, never see it. You see it in the glass cases at the fan access or whatever they call it now for WrestleManias. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. You think should they carry it around
for a little while?
Because they do at least four Saudi Arabia shows.
It'll be a centerpiece for whenever they go back, but they don't have to carry it around all the time. No,
it actually may not leave. It may not be allowed to leave the States. I mean, or leave Saudi Arabia if you think about it, because they have that WWE museum. It may sit there until it's contested again.
Maybe that's a thought.
That'd be interesting too. The first championship that is not allowed to be defended in the United States. Think about that. That's never happened before, I don't think. That was a WWE bread championship.
Well, they haven't really done that since they had the junior heavyweight championship that went to the Super J Cup.
It never came back.
Yeah, it never came back. They had it for a while, but they wasn't really using it. And then they sent it over to Japan to be part of the Super J Cup. And then when they took it back, they never used it again.
Another one of those. They heat it up, became the hardcore title.
No, they never did anything with it. I mean, you think they would have done that instead of the cruiserweight belt, but then the cruiserweights were what was going at the time, so they went cruiserweight rather than junior heavyweight.
Yeah. Well, while we talking about belts, before I know we're supposed to be talking about Bad Blood, but not Chelsea Green. Oh gosh, Candice LeRae is now the first ever women's speed champion.
Well, they had to give her a title at some point, I guess.
Yeah, and that's pretty much where it is. Like, well, yeah, that's about it. Nothing major there. Okay, so congratulations to you. New Rudine 574. I was interested in maybe doing some collaborating and seeing what could be done. So we'll follow up and try to, bump some ideas and see what will happen. Thank you.
Sure, why not? Sure, thank you. Thank you for your attention.
So
or
now,
at least your acknowledgement.
oh God, don't you start that. There we go. There you
Yeah,
go.
we ain't seen it in a while.
We haven't even done picks. You didn't even have to bring it out. It has to be
Ain't seen it
shown.
in a while. So, I had to, shine her up and bring her out. Yeah. Hey, baby. How you doing?
She said she's ready to come home. Tired
I
of your
know, I
shit.
know you. I know you missed me while I was in Atlanta for last week. I understand.
You
I
didn't bring it
I
with
got
you.
to.
See, that's what I'm
No, of
talking about.
course.
That's why you don't deserve that.
Nah, I didn't bring it with me. Why would I bring it with me?
Why not?
Why not? Why do?
Shoot, mine travel with me all the time. I haven't been through an
Yeah,
airport with
but
any
yours
championships in a long
has
time.
significance.
Say it
This one
again.
does. Yours has no significance.
Oh, they got some
This
significance now. They're aged to perfection. I'll put it like that, and extra special. So don't get that mess twisted. All right, so let's get into bad blood because we had 5 matches, like you said. And first of all, what would you give the overall pay-per-view before we get to the extra little something special at the end? On a grading scale, A through F.
overall, I give it a good B plus. The fact that they opened the show with the Hell in a Cell kind of threw me off.
I thought that was smart
I mean,
considering what the main event was.
yeah. I mean, after consideration, I figure between the 5 matches, I guess that would be the one to start everything off. And
Did you
then
like it?
I mean, it was good. It was a good match between the two. I mean, not understanding why they decided to wipe off Drew McIntyre with the towel so much.
Yeah, exactly.
Not understanding that at all. And then when they brought out the bag, I was like, "Don't be beads. Don't be beads.
Are you serious?
Don't be the
I was hoping
beads."
for thumbtacks.
No, I wasn't looking for thumbtacks. I mean, but I was looking. I was hoping more for thumbtacks instead of the beads. But I see where the beads come into play.
Yeah.
So,
Now, I would have rather. I thought they were going to have Drew McIntyre when he got the GTS with the chain around his leg, around CM Punk's leg. I thought Drew was going to spit out the beads, and that was the purpose of CM Punk putting the beads in his mouth. So he takes to go
but
to
I don't
sleep,
think he
and
in
then
his
Shawn
mouth though.
Michaels fashion and spit it out, and you see him spurting up all over the place. That would have been that extra accent.
Yeah, but I don't even think he took any in his mouth though.
I don't think he did either.
Pause.
No, did he? Take that, bad boy. Take that. Yeah. Yeah. Take that. Lube it up. Yeah. Take that. There you go.
I can't with you, man. I cannot with you.
I'm getting some looks. But yeah, I think if that was a Shawn Michaels moment, Shawn would have had him in his pause on that one too. But he would have had them in his mouth, so that way when he took the GTS, he would spat it out, and it would just been that more dynamic and flipped like 3 or 4 times. But overall, I think it was a safe Hell in a Cell, especially for CM Punk, to make sure, because Punk can have some injuries or two. So I thought it was safe that he was able to, go through the match. Drew did a good job early. CM Punk did a good job with, as he transitioned from getting beat up into actually being the aggressor. So, I call it a good, safe Hell in a Cell. Nothing super dramatic. It was just a Hell in a Cell. But, yeah, the only glaring issue that I had was it's a Hell in a Cell. You're supposed to bleed. Why are we putting towels out?
Did you like the fact they went back to the old Hell in a Cell? instead of bringing
Almost
out the red one.
Hell in a Cell. It's like the one after the original. Because the only thing I like about it, because I get it, but I don't like about it, is the fact that you can see the climbing holes on the sides. So then that makes you want to think about them going up the top versus it being organic and they're just climbing up. But I get it for the safety. But at the same time,
They didn't even leave. They didn't even leave the cell.
It was a good, safe, traditional Hell in a Cell. The only thing that was missing is if somebody was to come in and rip the door off. That's the statue of Hell in a Cell that they were producing at that point.
Well, they kept talking about the original Hell in a Cell being in Atlanta as well, and 27 years ago was the first one. And then, they kept talking about Kane. I don't know why they wouldn't have somebody come in and rip the door off, but then they don't have anybody. They don't have either one of them set up to do anything yet. So I don't know what's gonna happen with Punk. Is he gonna go with Seth Rollins? But is Seth Rollins gonna be coming back anytime soon?
I think that's still the WrestleMania match. So they've got to make that at some point. But again, I think that'll be one that'll be made independently without inclusion of the Royal Rumble and the finish of the Royal Rumble. Because I think the finish of the Royal Rumble, again, is going to be geared towards Roman for the men's side. So I think the Seth thing will be just organically set up. And then however they play this will be that. And that's how we'll get our Cody Rhodes match or Roman Reigns match. So we'll see, whatever plays out with that. But again, if I had to give that a grade, I'd probably give it about, let's say B+ for the Hell in a Cell match. Nothing bad. It was just nothing that was momentously great, but it was consistent. And, everybody survived and it told a good story. So kudos to Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. That also would have been a good time if we were going to have somebody come in and do something, a monster. That was a cue for Bronson Reed.
And
attack Punk as Punk was going up and stumbling across. That would have been something. But, or attack Drew. Close the cage and attack Drew. Because we've got to give Drew something to do now. So anything can happen, but just putting it out there.
Got to figure out both of them right. So
Now we did have our next match, which was Nia Jax versus Bayley. Nia still won. I like the little faux confusion with the Tiffany Stratton cash in. However, there's a lot of Nia's your queen, Nia's your queen, Nia's your queen. Where's Charlotte? She's been kind of dark on social media. I think she's cleared and they're getting ready to bring her in. So she may be Survivor Series. And, we'll have to see what's going to happen with Nia at that point. But I wouldn't be surprised if Tiffany Stratton does cash in for whatever reason. However, and then Charlotte comes out and it's Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte. And that's how they put the belt on Charlotte. Then you can have Charlotte.
So you're saying Tiffany's going to successfully cash in?
Yeah, because I think people would be pissed if Tiffany cashes in on Liv Morgan because they want to see that belt go back to Rhea. And now you just added Raquel, or we're jumping a match, but added Raquel Gonzalez or Rodriguez, whatever she's calling herself these days. She's back in the mix. So taking the belt off with some independent person wouldn't make sense. It's got to be a successful cash in as a transitional to go to the next step.
You don't think it's time for them to have their first failed cash in?
No. Not yet. They already, are not getting the full lion's share of what's what's due. You know, the only way it would, well, we do have new championships coming. She could cash in to whoever wins whatever it's going to be called, and that could be it as well. But I don't think it's going to be a failed cash in. It'll be successful one way or another. The question is it Nia or is it somebody else?
I think she goes after Nia and fails. I think she's going to fail.
But that depends on who Nia's next opponent is.
No, the next opponent could be Charlotte.
If it's Charlotte, then she would fail against. In that scenario, yeah, she would fail. No disrespect to Nia, but a returning Charlotte Flair always gets the belt back. That's just a commonality theme. I haven't seen anything else to the contrary yet. She comes back, she wins a championship, or she's in a championship hunt. Then she either gets the belt or accidentally gets injured. That's pretty much how that goes with Charlotte. Or do we get Becky back? Haven't heard anything from Becky Lynch in a moment either.
Yeah, I think Becky's done.
You think she's retiring and going to be a mom?
I think she's going to let it go.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a wrap for her.
No passion? You don't think she just has the passion in it to want to do anymore?
I mean, she wants. I'm thinking she wants to be a mother. They weren't really doing anything with her at the time when she wound up leaving. If she does come back, she could always come back to AEW. They'll always take her. So it's not like she doesn't have options. I just think she needs to take some time off, be a mother, get herself together. If she got any injuries or whatnot, let her rest up, heal up for like a couple of years and see what happens.
What do you think about this? What if once we go to Netflix, she joins the Raw announce team?
No, I think she's gonna be. No, I think she seems like the type to me that's all or nothing.
You think? I think she. She could join Jesse Ventura for Saturday Night's Main Events. That could be something. She could go on NXT and be a commentator.
Yeah, all of those options are open to her. You're right, but I think she just wants to sit back and be a mother.
I don't think she needs to, but I respect it if she does, but I don't think she needs to yet. I think she's still got some more in there and not going back to going to AEW.
This is retirement. I'm not saying it's like a full retirement. I'm just saying, she just wants to take some time off to rest her body and be and watch her daughter grow up.
Yeah.
I mean, you still got Seth.
Make the Italian champion. There you go.
Do what?
Make the Italian champion. They could just do that.
Natalia?
Yeah, why not?
Why do?
I know, right? Well, Bailey put over Natty on SmackDown. Naming her as one of the big influentials. Top talent.
Rightfully so.
Champion.
Rightfully so. But I mean, not to be disrespectful, but that's like putting lipstick on a pig.
That's kind of disrespectful.
Hey, I prefaced it, so it's all good.
So going back to transitional match that was just there. I guess you can call Nia the only technical with all the scuttlebutt and questions. Nia would be the closest. No, we did have Jimmy Uso. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. Like, are we qualifying Samoans or folks from the Samoan dynasty as African American, or we clarifying them as Samoan?
They're people of African descent, but it can't be. They're not considered black. If that's what you mean.
Okay. So then,
because they don't consider themselves black.
Yeah.
They don't consider consider themselves black at all.
So then,
So
yeah,
they
it is
color.
true. Then, yeah, there's no black people on the show then, other than the hosts.
On what show? Raw?
Bad Blood.
Oh, Bad Blood?
Yeah.
Well, let's see.
I was trying to see if Nia could be considered.
Actually wrestling in matches? No.
Yeah.
There are no black. There were no black people wrestling tonight. They had what they call the Big Three hosting,
right?
But they didn't wrestle.
Don't worry.
But you did have
somebody saying
color.
We all came from Africa.
Yeah, people. I mean, there were plenty of people of color in the pay-per-view.
Well, actually, I would say naturally tanned. How about that? Some naturally tanned people.
I mean, you had some of those too. You speaking of melanin? You mean melanin?
Yes.
Oh, there was a like a melanin
proficient. Melanin proficient. There was a lot
the only piece of melanin on the whole show pretty much was Samantha Irvin.
Yes, there you go. We had one consistent piece right there. Samantha, no, and the other young lady who's a ref, not Jessica Carr, but the other one. I follow him.
Aja.
Yeah. So technically, that's two. We're represented on the ladies' front, so okay, we're good. I was just curious, but I'm glad we fleshed that out. So we talked about the Hell in a Cell, the Nia versus Bailey, Dom in a cage. I was wondering how they were going to transition the Dom in a cage to make it relevant with the match. How are they going to have the end game? I wasn't expecting Raquel to show up, but I was like, can he climb out the cage? How high up is the cage? Excuse me. Excuse me. How high up is the cage?
They made it look like he was going to jump out. They made it kind of look like he was going to jump out on top of Rhea.
That I thought that too. Then I was like, well, if he turns around, slides out on his stomach, and holds on to the bar with his height, that means that maybe it's a 3-foot drop at that point. But I don't understand how they were saying maybe he picked the lock. Like Rhea had in her hand the locking mechanism when she opened the door, she had and walked to the ring, she had the locking mechanism in her hand. I thought that was interesting. I'm like, wait a minute. Isn't that the piece that's supposed to lock and keep the door closed?
Well, I missed that. Okay, that would have made sense.
Yeah, because you would see the bar, that little clamp.
Because he never stood up the whole time he was in the cage. So I mean, and he never reached for the door until he actually opened it.
Right.
I was trying to figure out, how did he get it open?
Yeah, I knew it was gimmick, but I didn't see her. She lifted it up, and it was that little clamp thing. She just had it in her finger, and then it disappeared when she did her little spin on the outside, the edge of the ramp. I mean, not the edge of the ramp, the edge of the ring. When she did her little spin and she was holding on to the ropes, which was a great image, by the way. They had it locked in, but from that point, I was like, yeah, that piece disappeared. So I'm like, well, maybe they passed it backwards and, eventually made it there because they spent a lot of time with Dom at the cage door, like unnecessary time. Judy Bagwell didn't get that much time at the cage door. But, what'd you think of the match?
It was a good match. between the two. I'd heard speculation about Raquel Rodriguez coming back.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure whether it was going to happen or not. But I guess I can see that. See if they end up making that. Well, the way it came off tonight, I don't think they're going to make that a threesome.
No. But I think it fell flat, though. That's my only thing. I think her return just fell kind of flat. Did it seem that way to you?
Build it up. It gives them room to build it up on Monday, so they can explain why she came back and why she did what she did and all that. They didn't want to give too much away.
Well, just her attack wasn't as aggressive. It wasn't aggressive in the face, when she was doing the slam. It just wasn't hardcore like she was pissed. When Liv came back, she was pissed at Rhea. When Rhea came back, she was pissed at Nia. Raquel comes back, it's a moveset.
I think it was that top she was wearing.
Well, yeah,
she wore the wrong. She couldn't do so much with that top on.
Yeah, I was.
And them little mosquito bites she got.
It's like, man, it's going to be some kind of malfunction. I thought it was going to happen. But yeah, I agree. Overall, the match was a good match. I was wondering how they were going to handle the Rhea overpowering, but truthfully, the Liv took a page out of Flair's book. Saw on that leg, stayed on that leg, focused on that leg, and then rode the rest of the match from there. Rhea looked good. The Dom spot. I wish he would not have had a pad on his back because it didn't sound correct when he was being hit with the kendo. I don't know if you heard that difference, but you could hear the little padding on his back. It's like, you should have took that one, dog. You should have took that for the team. You wanted to hear that thwack every single time, but it was kind of, like you was beating a kid that had a pillow over its butt. Didn't have the same sound and effect. So, but outside of that, good match, no complaints. And that leaves us with the main event.
Well, let's talk about Gunther and his in that promo. Well, we already talked about it. Well, we talked about the belt. We talked about the belt, but we didn't talk about Gunther and your boy.
He said Gunther's next. We're talking about Goldberg. I was going to gloss over because I know you probably wasn't happy with it, especially if it comes to fruition. But it is. I would say this.
Saudi Arabia is coming. They like Goldberg over in Saudi Arabia. I don't know what their fascination is with Goldberg, but they like him over there.
Again, if we roll it back to the championship, this crown jewel belt, if Gunther is with Goldberg,
well, that would mean Gunther would lose the title
before the crown jewel.
Who would he lose it to?
It's only one person that he could lose it to. Sorry, Sami Zayn. Main event, Jey Uso. That's the only person on the roster right now that he could lose it to.
So, wait a minute. So you're gonna make him a double champion, or you're gonna give somebody else the Intercontinental belt?
He's gonna lose the IC, but end up somehow getting an opportunity at the World. Just because we don't know, we don't know where Seth Rollins' status is. If Seth can come back, then I would put Seth in that mix and say Seth would probably beat Gunther. And then that would set up Seth versus CM Punk. But if Seth's not cleared,
well,
they're trying to do the Goldberg thing, which means Gunther can't be in that match. Then
Sammy
got to be it.
Sammy and Cody in Saudi would be kind of compelling, being that
it'd be compelling for Sammy, but
because he is Muslim.
That would put Cody instant heel. If you want to do the taste test for the heel turn for Cody, that's your day.
Well, Cody's
There's
already
no
a heel, so.
Well, I know, but true heel. That he's going to get his pop for the entrance because we know they're going to pop for that. But the moment Sammy comes out, because Sammy's got to be second, yeah, buddy. And all he's got to do is speak in his native tongue, yeah, buddy.
That's a lot of title changes within the next 3 months, in the next 4 weeks.
Right. So
that's a
the
lot
Goldberg thing, going back to that, I think it's just a fun little tease, but nothing's going to come out of it yet. Just a fun little tease. But I will say that Gage looks really good. He was representing Colorado in Coach Prime. So, Mark Henry's son just signed. So Gage could sign, 3 or 4 years from now if he doesn't go into NFL.
I'm sure if he gets a shot at the NFL, he'll go.
Oh yeah, he'll go.
If depending on his draft status. If he ends up in like lower rounds and not getting a lot of money on his first contract, I think he'll come to wrestling.
Yeah.
But if he goes at least third round and he gets a decent amount of money for a decent team, he'll go to NFL.
Yeah. But you could tell that, during that segment, first of all, Goldberg's wife, she sold everything. You need to go get him. You need to go ahead. You talk about you need to go get him. Man, she was selling better than Goldberg. Gage was, edging him on. You could see that he had that itch. It's kind of like Dominic without being thrust into it, like, young Dominic being thrust into the storyline. Gage was there. He had his moment. Then Goldberg comes back. I want my son to see me, not be involved but so much, but just to see me. And then you see it happen a little bit later on when he's old enough to really appreciate it. And now to still see that happen, with his dad tonight. And you could just see that there was that little bit of glisten in his eye. Like, maybe if it's not a crown jewel thing, but it's a Gunther and Kaiser versus Gage and his dad at WrestleMania night 1. I can see that. Gunther could get double duty.
If the NCAA allows that.
I think they can make that work.
You got some red tape with the NCAA and his amateur status when it comes to that.
Well, I think it could happen between the machine and the muscle of TKO. I think it could be done. The question, it'll be unprecedented because nobody has ever done that at that level, being affiliated like that. But, I think it may come down to the contract and how much he gets paid. If I was Goldberg, I'd say, okay, you pay me the line share and give him $1.
He wouldn't be able to get paid. That's the thing. He wouldn't be able to get paid by the WWE amateur status.
Well, he could get $1.
No.
Well, yeah, they could pay Goldberg.
They would have to pay. It would have to go around him some kind of way. But I don't know. The only way I see that happening is if he gets nothing for that.
Yeah, and pay him nothing. You pay Goldberg double the money. It's going to go to Gage anyway. Or they can leverage it, and the NCAA can get a piece of the sponsorships tied to that match. Colorado gets paid some money. The NCAA gets paid some money. You get some extra exposure to the NCAA in a different market. Colorado, Coach Prime will be all over that. That's my boy. Come on now. He sell that all day long. It's WrestleMania. It's Americana.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it
Possible.
goes. I mean,
Possible.
I'm sure with him playing for Colorado, they'll probably include Prime in it some kind of way.
Hmm.
They'll probably they'll even probably include your boy Travis, what's his name? Travis Hunter and Shador in there some kind. They'll throw them in there in the mix some kind of way. So
And
yeah.
it's a win for Logan Paul. Because if there's anybody to sell your energy drink at that time, who better sell Prime than Prime during that match? Prime sponsors. Come on now. Come on now. You gotta be like Prime. Drink that Prime. You know what I'm saying? Must be the money. Nope, Mr. Prime. You know, you can do all that stuff. I know, right?
Yeah,
But you know, wishful
reaching out.
thinking, but night one is coming up sooner than later. They got to lock something down. But it was good to see Goldberg. He looked good. He's still rocking the same jacket, though. I get his advertising, but
Goldberg Garage. Yeah, is that a show?
I don't think so. I don't know. I haven't seen it. Let me put it that way. But it could be something, or just hey, sponsor it. Do what you're going to do. Make your money out of it. But he looked good. Now going back to the main event. Started slow.
But before we do, and this has something to do with the main event, so I'm not going off the rails here.
Oh no, go ahead.
The University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. You need to be damn ashamed of yourself. You do a video of you doing Cody Rhodes entrance music and it goes viral. You get the chance to push your school on a major pay-per-view that's going out worldwide, and that's the showing you give. I don't know if it was where the mics was set up. I don't know what. But yo, that was some hot garbage.
I think the timing was off a little bit.
That was, because it was that definitely off because they were trying to play along with the music, but the music was being played over the PA. They were catching the echo from it, so they were behind on what the actual music was that was playing. So they should have just stopped playing at all and just stood there.
Yeah, they should have been at the entrance.
It wasn't like they were playing well anyway. I mean, it sounded like crap. But yeah, y'all dropped the ball on that one for real.
Well, they had an opportunity, honestly, to really jazz it up because you could have had them on one side of the entrance and Georgia Tech on the other. A battle.
With the colors they were wearing, I thought it was Georgia Tech until I saw the letters on the front.
Yeah, I'd already heard that they were going to be playing. I'm like, well, that's cool. And I was like, well, that's messed up. You were at G Tech, and then you did the video, but yeah, G Tech's not going to play. But I'm like, hey, they did it first. I get it, but they could have also still had to been at the entranceway. You could do the two schools, but G Tech would do Roman.
Well, I mean, they had the Georgia Philharmonic Orchestra for
yeah, but you
for Roman.
That was an extra
which was more appropriate for Roman's entrance music to have.
Did you hear them?
Orchestra. You could barely hear them, but I would rather them be present, barely hear them, and not interrupt the entrance than hear somebody doing something badly, and messing up the entrance. They screwed up Cody's entrance all to be damned.
Yeah. But hey, it got you to the dance. You got to be in Atlanta. You got to be, on the floor. Once in a lifetime opportunity. If it didn't go across, you got an opportunity.
Yeah.
Next
I guess
Rollins theme song. We'll see what happens.
It wouldn't have happened like that if it was the North Carolina Central University.
They just showed up and showed out.
Oh, we just showed up and showed out. Just like we did tonight when we opened up that can of Colt 45 against Campbell University today.
So y'all crushed somebody else?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
3 weeks or 2 weeks in a row?
We had 2 losses. We got a loss to the Tar Heels, of which was a good showing because we actually were playing them close at the half. We actually exposed them, and that's why they've been going on this loser streak. We actually exposed them. So that's why they've been on this loser streak here recently, because everybody's been watching our film on them. And then we also lost to Elon College, which we whooped up on them like they stole something last year. So that was kind of like a revenge game for them. They came in fully prepared, like they spent the whole off season getting ready for us. But we're actually number 1 in all the black college polls and all the division of black, and all that. So all I know is we got a couple of schools we need to look out for, and I'll be right back in Atlanta December 15th for the Celebration Bowl.
Oh, snap. May have to check you out on that. Keep me posted on, tickets and stuff. 7:15. Oh, yeah. Yeah, depending. I could maybe be there. We'll have to see how that plays out. So now we can talk about the main event.
Now we can.
So Cody and Roman, Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa. They said it started off a little slow. The good play between Cody and Roman, who's going to go first in the match and how they're going to start that off, and who's going to get worked over the longest, stuff like that came into play. I was honestly in this match expecting, we did get Jimmy Uso, but I was like, are we going to get, Zilla or Hikuleo? Is somebody going to debut? Why are they still holding back on pulling the trigger on these guys? We get closer and closer, like next month, to Survivor Series. So, we've got the 4 on the new Bloodline side, but we're still technically, at the beginning of the match, 2 people down. We ended up getting Jimmy Uso back, which was good to see. But then we also got Dwayne. Now, I know the internet is savvy, and they're going to go ahead and super sleuth it because he put some fingers up in reference to numbers. Wasn't it 1, 2, 4?
He did 1, 2, 3. No, he did 1, 2, 3. He did 1, 2, 3.
So is that, that's how long or easy it's going to be to take the championship? Or is that a date, 123? What is the hidden meaning behind that message?
Who knows? I don't know.
And what's your thoughts? What did you make out of it? Or are you thinking a date?
Well, okay, so let's think about the number combinations. First one would be 12-3, December 3rd. Is there anything happening that we know about on December 3rd?
No, and then let's
look at the calendar. See what is
that's a Tuesday.
What is this? Tuesday. So
That wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, because they wouldn't be doing nothing on NXT.
Right. But Cody is supposed to make a run in NXT or swing through NXT.
I mean, it could happen. Something could happen. I mean, they on the CW, so they on the CW now. So I mean,
and that presentation
ratings on that.
That presentation on the CW, that was premium. I mean, that was a takeover show. That was not a weekly episodic NXT show at all. I don't know if you caught any clips of that, but man, that was NXT takeover. I was getting chills.
I actually watched it. I watched
that is a throwback. Oh my God. Shoot.
You can tell they kind of rushed the. You can tell they kind of rushed the ending to end it.
Yeah,
they ran a little long, but yeah, it was one of those caliber, especially with CM Punk being special guest referee.
Oh yeah,
Trick
Williams got made that night, and it was just his entrance, just the entrance. Like, even though he won and became champion, that entrance made him, in my opinion. That was a superstar situation right there. And when he came out, that crowd, man, palm of his hand. I think he didn't know what to do, because you could tell, when he got in the ring and he was just, vibing, he could have done some more to really, bring it in. But I think he just got lost, and rightfully so. I would have got lost in that as well. I was like, oh my God, this is insanity. This is what a takeover used to feel like. If they do that every week, AEW's got some problems.
Well, they were on the road. They were in Chicago. I mean, we'll see what happens. We'll see if it comes out the same way when they're in St. Louis this week. But especially with Randy being part of the show, so we'll have to see what's going on. I'm actually kind of interested to see what Randy's going to do with Young Buck. So, because I mean, he seems like a little mismatch, but they're going to give him at least 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So he's going to have to do some. He's going to have to do some things in that match to kind of.
About 15 minutes of that is Randy's entrance.
Well. In St. Louis, yeah, no doubt. Now let's look at the other date that could happen. January 23rd. That's a Thursday night.
Mm-hmm. Don't know what would be happening in January on a Thursday.
No, but they could do something interesting, because I mean, it would be Raw. Raw would be on Netflix by that time, so they could probably do some kind of special.
Yeah. Or on the simplest form, it could just be 1, 2, 3. That's all it takes. So I don't know. WWE, one thing they're good at is planting seeds and subliminal messaging.
Yeah, we might be looking too deep into overthinking this too much.
Yeah,
I really think.
Who do we blame for that? Bray Wyatt. Thank you. Rest in peace, Bray Wyatt. This is all your fault. If it wasn't for Bray and all the layers upon layers, the long-term, just layering of messages and storylines and capability, shoot, man, we wouldn't even be thinking this hard. So
yeah, cool and plus put another layer of the onion on it. Who is he doing it to? Who was he giving that 1, 2, 3, 2? Was he giving it to Cody, or was he giving it to Roman?
Right. Or was he giving it to Solo?
Solo went in the ring.
I know he wasn't in the ring, but the messaging could have still been there.
Well, okay, so wait a minute.
Well, they were rated there at the in the crowd.
Did he get jumped before or after he did that?
After, no, Cody got jumped before.
He got jumped. Okay, that's
they went
before
down and they saved him.
They ended up in the ring again. Okay,
right.
Okay.
Roman
I kind of forgot.
Giving the belt back, and then the Rock's music hits.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot to read into that, but that means that the Rock is in play for potentially Survivor Series and WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, like I said, everything's pretty much falling into place as to what I've been saying the whole time since WrestleMania. Now either they're gonna do a 4-on-4
Roman, allegedly, potentially.
Either they're gonna do a 4-on-4 or they're gonna do 5-on-5. If they do 4-on-4, Solo's already got his 4.
Right.
But I'm going to do 5-on-5 and add the Rock.
Right. Which would give us both
if they do 5-on-5, you got Roman, you got Jimmy back. They'll bring Jay in. Mm-hmm. They still got Hikuleo to bring in.
Right.
Now the only caveat is, do they include Sammy or do they bring in Zilla?
I think you hold Zilla to WrestleMania. And you bring in Sammy. You got to have one more in the chamber for the right time.
I don't know if they're going to wait that long because you already got Zilla giving up bookings because he's giving up all of his bookings for Game Changer Wrestling now. He's not doing any independent. The only shows he's really doing right now is for House of Glory, and he's their Crown Jewel champion right now.
Yeah, but that also frees him up to get, I guess for lack of a better term, institutionalized on the WWE way. So he could be training in a performance center. He could be getting used to the cadence and the pace of, how the WWE does things. So that way he could be cleaned up and ready. So when they present him, because they're presenting him at these times, these super times, WrestleMania, etc., he is ready to go.
But that's my whole thing. That's what I'm saying. That's why I brought it up, because if they told him to go ahead and shut down all of his other bookings, he's only doing House of Glory. He's probably freeing up that time to do the work with WWE to get ready for them.
Right.
So, but it's not a matter of if he's coming in. It's just a matter of when.
When. Mm-hmm. Agreed. But I mean, that's the glory, I would say, of this Triple H era. He's got a lot of irons in the fire, and that's just on the main roster. As the kids say, that they're cooking on NXT, and the way they're doing things, they could start interchanging some NXT people in with main roster people, flip-flopping, doing some crossover events, stuff like that. Man, there's a lot in play. Like a week like this, they're in Atlanta. So we got this, Rock thing situation going on. That's tied into SmackDown. SmackDown is going to be in South Carolina on Friday. St. Louis is NXT. So you could take a couple of the SmackDown folks, send them to NXT. And then, that way they're not super gapped out between now and Friday. They're still in play. They're close enough to get back, have a couple of days off at home, and then they can make some things happen.
Where's South Carolina going to be?
Say it again.
Where's South Carolina going to be? Columbia?
Greenville.
Okay.
So, yes.
Interesting.
As long as nobody's listening, I will be acknowledging my tribal chief.
I'm There's another reason why I'm skeptical about that, but I'm not going to bring that up on the show.
Okay. I mean, it's just interesting that they have that much space in between when we're only talking 2 hours difference in travel. Could it be utilized some of that middle time for NXT, for TNA? Just, to keep people in play a little bit closer to the cuff. But Triple H has that capability with Shawn Michaels and that leverage and an opportunity to be able to just do things. And they're open to doing things, which is, something that hasn't happened in quite some time. So it's pretty exciting to see overall what we have for the future for the first time. As, honestly, we got to think about this. We're going into the first ever Triple H Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, and WrestleMania. The first ever WrestleMania without Vince solely is coming up. That's a lot of opportunity and craftiness, and it's not just going to be a Triple H thing. It's going to be Nick Khan and TKO, and man, they're going to pull out all the stops. Because in my head, I was like, it'd be interesting to see if they had just a bunch of celebrities. It's Atlanta. The one person they didn't show, ironically, was Chili from TLC, who was at every WWE Atlanta show with her son. But I thought it was interesting that we didn't. I don't know if she wasn't there or not, but or in town or whatever. But that's the one person I was expecting to see that I didn't see. But they're sprinkling, that star power in there a lot. It's going to be interesting. This road to WrestleMania is going to be something.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they're gonna have all of their rap influence people up in there. So they had Metro Boomin tonight. They had Killer Mike on there tonight.
Yep.
They got they stole away Meg Thee Stallion for the intro music.
Had the cameo with Cardi B for the commercial.
They got Sexy Red supposed to be on Tuesday. Really?
Again?
Yeah.
Oh Lord, Shawn Michaels couldn't get enough of that's working, huh? You still gonna watch?
Yeah, I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just use Sexy Red's time as my bathroom break.
I hear that. So, well, overall, we pretty much agree that it was a B+ show. It did what it needed to do. There was no major, upsets or craziness that happened. It was good to see that we finally got Jimmy Uso back. What's going to happen? Because again, we talked about if Jay wins a championship, tag team wise, not necessary. So how does that play out?
I already talked about taking that belt off of him, though.
The only way that would make sense is if they take the belts off of the bloodline.
No, not necessarily. It doesn't hurt or help them. It doesn't hurt or help them to have those belts. I mean, they just got those belts because it's the bloodline.
Right. But I'm saying if they take it back, when a Uso puts them on, then it means something. It's now something once again. Something a little bit more heavily, desired and sought after.
Well, that's why you want to keep the belts on the GOD.
Yeah.
That's why you want to keep them on GOD, because once you get Jay back into the fold, the Usos are back together, and now that intensifies that rivalry between the two. And that's something that people have been wanting to see for a while. GOD versus the Usos. So, that just brings something else into the fold for them to wrestle for.
Or we also have the spoilers of the Motor City Machine Guns Those little
Yeah.
quick little trailers. So that'd be, man. I wanted to see Alex Shelley and oh gosh, what's his name? Shelley and
Chris Sabin.
Chris Sabin, yeah. To have them in the WWE for a long time. So we finally get the Motor City Machine Guns. We may be getting Rusev back. That'll be interesting. There's some things, like I said, man, the roadmap is going to be rather crazy, interesting, and bright over the next 5 months. And guess who will be here to talk about it? Everybody but KG, because he was a bum and he couldn't make it tonight. He's not watching though, so don't worry about it. I can talk about him. We'll just say that James talked about him during the show.
Yeah, you always trying to throw somebody under the bus.
God dang it, he's watching. I knew he was out there somewhere in the ether, all up in our business. He ain't slick.
Beer money can't come back. Beer money can't come back because Bobby Roode is.
No, Roode is
Bobby
clear.
Roode. Is he?
Yeah, he can wrestle. He just
I thought it was
a producer role.
I thought it was done. I thought he was hurt to the point where he couldn't.
No, he got cleared. He just said in an interview maybe about a couple weeks ago, I want to say, that the desire or the need for him to come back, it's like for what? When he's enjoying a producer role. It's like it's just nothing to come back for that would make sense program-wise.
Right. That too.
But beer money could come back.
And then they don't necessarily want James Storm. They did it one time.
Yeah, it just didn't work out.
I don't know if that contract negotiation kind of pissed them off because it ended so abruptly.
But we haven't had anything like beer money in the WWE in quite some time. That would be if Triple H is going to go back to his old favorite of tag teams. That could be an easy win. Short-term contract, short-term program.
What would have been the closest? What in the WWE would have been the closest to beer money?
Of recent?
Period. There's only one tag team you can say that was anywhere close to beer money.
The APA.
No.
How so? Beer, a cowboy. Well, and you got Ron Simmons. Damn. But I would call them close.
Close, but not the team I'm thinking about.
Who are you thinking about?
Two-man power trip. You got the beer. You got the beer guzzling brawler.
Okay.
And the rich guy, the upper crust rich guy.
I would call it a close. Not a super mirror. I would call it a close. I think we're pretty much on the same level.
You call APA a mirror?
No, close. I say we just got two sides of the same thing.
I say Triple H and Stone Cold would have been a closer comparison to
Triple H wore the cowboy hat and the dust.
No, that'd be Stone Cold. Stone Cold would be James Storm. Triple H would be Bobby Roode.
We'll have to bring KG in on this. If only he was watching. But, unfortunately, we know he's not on the show this week. He's out there special assignment. Don't want to be participating and stuff. So this would be a great time for him to, talk about this. But darn. So we may have to table that and make that a great show topic in the very near future when we could get KG to hang out with us, He don't want to be with the cool kids on a Saturday night. Maybe he'll show up one day. Maybe he'll comment or something on a show. You know how KG is. Maybe he just didn't want to be with you because he knew he was going to show the belt again. I don't know.
Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, he's just crazy.
Who knows?
He's just crazy.
He's somewhere sitting around with a hot pocket. Just...
That is true. So either way, ladies and gentlemen, that was Bad Blood. Well, if he was going to be around, he would say something like 2-man power trip, birth beer money. But not sure if that was KG or not. That could have been his stunt double or Hornswoggle. Any final words before we jump out of here? Leave the people back to their regularly scheduled crazy Saturday night programming?
No, just diversify your bonds.
Dang. Wait a minute, is that my line?
As many times you stolen mine, deal with it.
All right, well, konnichiwa, bitches. How the heck this thing on?